Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review, we are looking at the Marvel Legends Retro Carded Negative Zone Spider-Man, the black and white pizza Spider-Man. This was, I believe, a Target exclusive. I don't know. I bought all these things so long ago, I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was. Yeah, it was, right? With like the few X-Men characters and whatnot. Gambit, Rogue, I don't know who else. Anyway, it's white and black pizza Spider-Man. There's not a whole lot to say about this thing, so it's going to be a pretty quick review, but I figured I'd show you guys just in case you were interested in tracking it down. I do believe they are available on the Target website at this point in time, so you might want to do that. So let's go ahead and get this guy off the stand and take a closer look. This guy stands just about 6 3/8 inches, which makes him pretty close to... it's a little over 16 centimeters. It's the same pizza Spider-Man we've seen about a million times. And before we get into the review, let's go ahead and do a question of the day. Are you interested in these retro figures because the packaging is cool and it gives you the feels of nostalgia? Or are you just getting them because it's other releases of figures and you don't really care about the packaging? Let me know how you feel about that. I personally love the packaging, but I don't really care because I'm not keeping them in the package. I grew up with that packaging design, but it doesn't do anything for me. So I'm curious how you guys feel about it. Okay, so let's talk about the aesthetics on this guy. White plastic, black paint, white paint, black plastic. Lots of combinations here, lots of room for failure. How did they do? Well, most of the white is pretty good, but you can see some parts where it's painted, it doesn't look as good. I don't know how well that's going to show up. Catching two different whites that are so close may not show up on camera effectively with the harsh lighting, but they painted this white and this is molded, and this is not the same. This is like an Arctic white, this is like a classic white, so there's like a touch of yellow to it. This almost has like a bluish hue, a cooler temperature. So that is going to bother some people, others won't even notice it. The black paint obviously isn't an issue around the figure. Black's easy to paint on top of white, and molded black and painted black, it's just black, and you'd have to really try to screw that up, and they didn't do that, so that's okay. I will say though, the lines are pretty crisp. They're not perfect, but they're pretty clean. That's good. The spider logo is really, really well done. I don't know how they managed that. I like that. The one on the back is also good, and his eyes are pretty well done. Not perfect, but pretty good. So other than the whites being a little inconsistent, I'd say this is a pretty good effort. They did a decent job, so I'll give it an 8 out of 10. It's clean enough, but like the painted spots on the legs and the arms, they do look bad to me. Some of you may not even notice. I don't know how good your vision is or your color perception, but that is the way it is. Alright, as far as accessories go, we have the 2 fist hands that come in the package. We have 2 thwipping hands and then 2 wall qualling hands. And then we do also have his negative zone slice of pizza, which is pretty well done. So decent enough accessories. I suppose that's fine. I'll go 8 out of 10, I guess. I don't know what else you would give us to Spider-Man other than some webbing, but that always ends up being a crappy accessory anyway. Alright, let's run the articulation real quick, even though it shouldn't be anything new. The head does lean back pretty far. It leans... what is that? How did I get blue on mine? I mean, I didn't do it. It came that way. Why is there blue plastic? There's a chunk of blue plastic in the molded head. That's very frustrating. Well, anyway, the head does look down, and it does rotate, of course, but leaning is just a touch. Tiny, tiny bit of leaning. Butterfly joint works well enough on this body. It's not great. It's not one of the best examples, but it's acceptable. It'll work for Spider-Man. He does have a very narrow chest. Like, I didn't critique the body too much because we've seen it so many times now. It's not a great sculpt. We've seen much better since, so it's a little bit of a shame that they released it on this, but it is the pizza Spider-Man negative zone, so I guess that's okay. That's up to you if you like it or not. You do get your full rotation. You do get horizontal at least. I thought it went farther, but mine's not wanting to go, so I guess that's that. Bicep swivel is fine. Double jointed elbows work nicely. You do get the 2 black dots right there. They didn't bother putting any paint on them. And then for the wrists, you do get a swivel and a hinge, and they are all hinged with the horizontal style hinge. Ab crunch on this guy is hideous. It looks terrible. Like, really, it's just cut off flat. Oh, it looks like a brick pizza oven. Not good. And it doesn't even lean forward very well. This mold is not good. It's time to retire it. It's not good. It leans back far enough, but you get that giant gap, and then it doesn't lean forward at all. That's terrible. There's no excuse for that. Terrible. And his torso's so long. This whole thing should have been reworked before it got made. I mean, not this particular figure, this mold, but this one too, this figure. Waist twist is fine. Hips go out to the side, only about 45 degrees. You guys remember the Iron Man review? Check it up there. There's an Iron Man review where he's got full-on splits, and his legs look better than these, and these don't work, and these are Spider-Man. They do go forward nicely, so I'll give him that. That's cool. They go back a tiny bit. Thigh swivel is a thigh swivel. Double-jointed knee works nicely. It's nice and tight, so you don't get this giant blocky knee. It's just as blocky as it has to be, so that's good design. And then for the ankles, all the way back, that's really good. Pretty darn far forward, and you get a really solid ankle rocker without much of a pivot. Angle. It doesn't have too much of an angle when you rotate it. Let's see if I can speak. I did not sleep well last night. Okay, so articulation on this guy is average at best, especially for a Spider-Man. It's subpar, so I'm going to give it only a 6 out of 10. A lot of it doesn't work the way it should, like the ab crunch. Not great. The hips, they don't go out to the side. Butterfly joint is only passable. It's just not great. So, okay, time for the final verdict on this guy. It's fine if you just want a black and white Spider-Man. They did a decent enough job with that, even though the whites don't match. Articulation's still mediocre to average to not good. Yeah, it's just an unimpressive release basically everywhere except for the cleanliness of the paint job. And then even then, it's only half clean where the logos are in the eyes. So I'm going to give this guy a final verdict of a very generous 7 out of 10. It's not a strong release, but if this is what you were looking for, it's passable. That's about it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. That's okay, too. And if you haven't subscribed, you might want to. I have new videos almost every single day, and thousands already on the channel. So make sure you come back for all of that. And in the meantime, keep collecting.